This is called a beer with Atlas, right? Mm-hmm. Not a craft beer with Atlas, because I don't think these can be considered craft beers, but they're definitely beers you and I are not going to get again.
And if you look at the back of one of the labels, it says not for sale to persons under 18.
Okay.
So they're definitely not from this country either.
No, all right. Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve.
There we go. I was going to introduce you.
He jumped right in there.
You may want to put your headphones on, Steve, to hear what's going on.
I can hear you. You guys are right next to me. I will put the headset on.
There we go.
Makes us feel better.
Yeah, exactly. It makes us feel like we're in radio or something.
Testing.
There we go. We usually do that before, but okay, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, so Steve's with us today because I'll let him introduce this, but he brought us back 3 different beers from the furthest venue we've ever had before.
Yeah, and I will say that this is called a beer with Atlas, right? Mm-hmm. Not a craft beer with Atlas, because I don't think these can be considered craft beers, but they're definitely beers you and I are not going to get again.
And if you look at the back of one of the labels, it says not for sale to persons under 18.
Okay.
So they're definitely not from this country either.
No, all right.
Steve, where did you talk about where you got these beers and why you brought them back?
Sure. Well, recently had an opportunity to go over to Tanzania, looking for a partnership for our company so that we can kind of give back. Went over and visited some special needs classrooms and just spent the week working with them and looking for a place where we can send some of our future travelers and some of our internal staff to kind of put some time and effort into making their lives a little better. So it was a really eye-opening opportunity for me, and while I was there, it were long days. By the end of the day, you're kind of wishing you had a drink or a cold beer because it just kind of it wears on you emotionally. It was really tough to see.
I bet.
So we were staying at a Lutheran church kind of hotel setting, and they had no alcohol on the premises. So we were told that there is this lady that's just on the other side of the street that for the last 15 years is kind of opened up her house and allows folks to come in there, and you sit outside in a plastic chair and she'll go inside and grab you some beers and you get to talk to this she's about 85, I think. She's been doing this for a long time, and she just loves getting to meet people and sharing her country's beer. And so that was where I was first introduced to Kilimanjaro and Serengeti.
So Kilimanjaro is the first one. I'll tell you, that story doesn't sound all too different than here in the States, right?
Well, except for that you're not doing it at somebody's house, but yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
did you have to buy it from her there? Like, did she make money off of this?
Probably a couple dollars. As you can see, the pricing on these,
these
are 500 milliliter, I believe, and 2,500 Tanzanian dollars, which is equivalent to about $1.10 US for these bottles.
Yeah.
So well priced. I think I paid maybe $1.50 a beer at her place, so she didn't make a whole lot.
I think one of the first questions I asked Steve when I found out that he could still text halfway around the world was, did you find any good beer yet?
Yeah.
And this was the first picture he sent to me, was the Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
How far from Kilimanjaro were you actually? Like, you were close, yeah?
Yeah, we were actually at the Moshi. We're right at the base of the mountain. So we actually were right at Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro Airport's where we flew in. Tallest mountain in Africa, and they basically have 2 to 3 beers. So when you go anywhere there, any bar, it's not like you in the U.S. where you have a huge selection. It's Serengeti, Kilimanjaro, Safari. Those are pretty much the only 3 you ever see.
Did you try this yet?
No, I'm just waiting.
I'd be interested to get your take, because I had a little. You've had
clear.
It is super clear, almost like this is like a Budweiser clear, I would say.
Yeah.
Like this has the appearance of a Budweiser. What is?
Smells. Yeah.
Is it a lager? Is that right?
I don't know if that's a lager or not.
What's it say on there?
Yes, it's a premium lager.
Oh, premium lager. Oh, there you go. It tastes like a lager to me. I mean, it's
nothing special. It's kind of their light beer.
It's beer, yeah. I mean, that's what I would say. If
it's
this is what when you say beer, this is what most people think about.
It's almost like a PBR kind of. There's a little sweetness to it, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Pretty much everyone, this is what they drank.
This is their beer.
Yep.
What's the
4.5.
Is that what it? Yeah.
4.5%.
IBUs NA. So
Because their probably is like undetectable, maybe 5 or 10.
not much.
But you'd pay $1.10 for this. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. How was it? Was it hot there?
Nope, it's their winter time. So
Oh,
anything
winter
south
time.
of the equator is winter right now. So 75 degrees, no bugs.
That's winter.
This is the time to go. Yep, that's winter for them.
Wow, that sounds good.
I've seen some of the videos and pictures that he brought back. It's not what you would think. Now, some of it was very Sahara, that sort of like sand and that type of thing, right? Dirt. But some of it was very lush and green and
Yep. Within the mountain, there's 5 climates. So because of the altitude, as you go up the mountain, you get to the jungle, you get the high plains, you get the desert, you get the arid, where nothing grows. So you get all kinds of climates just being on the mountain like that.
Brian, have you ever been out of the country at all like that? I mean,
Yeah,
so-
but not to Africa. My
No.
sister, when she was, I think, doing her pharmacology, maybe a fellowship or something like that, she went to Africa, and they did like some research stuff there, and she worked in a hospital, and she basically told the same exact story. They couldn't. There was like, it wasn't technically really. They didn't feel like it was real safe for them to go into the town to the bar. They had like armed guards with them, but when they did was they went down the street was a house, was an old lady, and in the backyard you could go and have beers, like exactly the same sort of story.
Interesting.
And I'm guessing these were some of the ones that she had.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
I you know what? I like it.
It reminds me of Red Stripe. You ever had that?
It does taste like that.
That's what it reminds me of.
And after a while, you drink so much of that Red Stripe, and it just starts tasting like water.
I swore, and I have kept up this. I swore I would never drink another Red Stripe unless I was in Jamaica, because when I drank it, that's all I drank there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no more, never.
You ask
again.
for a beer, and it's like, you don't even have to, they're just going to
That's
give you a
it.
red stripe.
Yeah.
That's a beer. Yeah.
Yep.
They have Red Stripe Light now too. Did you see that?
Ugh.
I don't know if they have it there. They didn't have it in Jamaica.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I did see the other day when I went to a concert, and they had like tall boy red stripes. and I was like,
No
oh no,
way.
no one's all about those, by the way.
It's like a Rolling Rock, right?
Ugh. Ugh. Gross.
So this is the number one beer, according to that one article I found. Right,
Yes.
this is like the most popular one.
We would prefer Serengeti. So the next one we're going to drink is the one I would always order. Just a little more flavor. You'll see when you drink it.
So the descriptions I got was on the first one. It was supposed to be a smooth nose, which it is,
okay.
and it's not too malty. And then this one, the one he says is his
Malty.
favorite, malty, strong malty finish and crisp.
Crisp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think malty and crisp would go together. I guess
don't
we'll
know.
find out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This brewery, the one that made Kilimanjaro, I found out they were started in 1932. And then they've been bought a couple times. It sounded like they were running maybe by the government or something for like 25 years, and they didn't make any money, no profit. And then somebody else, another brewing company, bought them out in the 90s and infused some more money into them. So that's why they're still going. But they've been around almost 100 years.
So brewed by Tanzania Breweries Ltd.
Yeah, it's like
Tanzania.
TBE or something like that. That they're showed online.
This is interesting. Tapintoyourbeer.com
Yeah.
is a
I
website.
went- I think I went to that site. This brewery is the largest taxpayer in the whole country. They pay more taxes than anybody else.
Really?
There, every single place you go, you see a sign for Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro beer.
Yep.
And then the other thing I read that was kind of interesting, which is different than anywhere that we'll ever get a beer from, probably 80% of the beer in this place where he was at is off the market. So it's like homebrew, or it's like privately made and given out. Like it's not
So
sold.
as you climb the mountain and you go into the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
there's like a shack, and then they're inviting you in to drink their local beer.
Oh.
So you'll see like 4 boards, corrugated steel, and that's a bar. And it's in the jungle, and they make their own beer out of, I don't have no idea how they do it.
Jungle beer.
Jungle
Yeah.
beer. But we were told not to drink it because it's
Oh.
probably not good for you.
Oh.
But that was everywhere. Everybody's
Brian
like-
would drink it.
I'd
Right.
try probably.
Right.
But that's, 80% of the beer consumed is not purchased.
It's
Which-
jungle beer.
Yeah. which
Well,
is
you got to
crazy.
figure the staff there that I worked with made $50 a month.
Jeez.
So $1.25 a day, they'd have to work all day for one beer.
Dang.
So that makes sense. you
That
know?
totally makes sense.
Yep.
I sold like 3 GI Joes on eBay last night and made $50. So
Yeah.
with like 2 clicks. So I don't know.
I guess that goes to show how important beer can be. Right?
Absolutely.
If it's something that keeps you going and it's enough that you want to make it or you have to make it, that's how innovations happen.
This is kind of interesting for our beer overlords at Budweiser. No sugar added. They call it a medium beer. I don't know what medium would be. But then ingredients list water, malt, maize, barley, hops, and yeast.
Yeah.
They put corn.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you smell. That's that sweetness that you
Yeah.
get.
That's got to be the sweetness out
So
of it.
anywhere you drove out there, at side of the road, there's corn, and they grew corn. And if there's like a 5x5 section or a ditch, they were growing corn. So any kind of available land they had out there was corn. They just didn't have a lot, and that was a cheap way to have food.
Was it as tall as the corn here?
It was, yeah. They did, and then bananas. Everywhere you went was bananas, corn. They grew some beans, some soybeans. But every single family basically had just this little bitty plot of corn. So it was weird.
Did monkeys ever steal your bananas?
They did not, but we came across several baboons at a lot of the stops.
Yeah.
And we'd have to roll up our windows because they're known to jump into the vehicle and steal food.
Really?
And they're very, very aggressive. So as you stop, they'll come right up to you, and I got a lot of videos.
Really?
I've heard they're mean and nasty.
They're very mean. The drivers hated them because they'd always go into their vehicle and cause a mess. So,
Steal stuff?
yep, you'd have to roll the windows up anywhere you stopped.
Yeah, maybe I learned that from the Disney animated movie Tarzan. Baboons were pretty mean in that, but that's for sure.
I did get a good video, though, of a baboon walking down, had a baby on its back. It came up to another baboon that had a baby it was holding, and it gave a bro hug. So it comes over,
Like they
wraps
use
its arm around, pats it on the back, and then it sits down and starts eating bugs off the other baboon.
That's amazing.
I got the video. I'll shoot it to you.
And they pop open a Serengeti beer and
That's
go
right.
at
That's
it.
the end of the day, man.
Sounds like a Tuesday.
All right, so second beer. This is the one you said you liked more, Serengeti.
This is what I ordered.
Definitely smells less sweet than the first one.
So it's interesting to me. This is the one that scared me probably the most because it says 100% malt on the label.
It's delicious.
This is a malt liquor. Like, this is Colt 45 style, maybe? I mean, are we talking... Do I have my styles mixed up?
I think you're going to like it.
Yeah? I don't know. Oh. There's a sweet yumminess to that.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty.
That's super good.
I don't know how to describe that.
No.
Have you had anything like that in the state?
No. It's... Where's that sweetness coming from?
I don't know. I mean, it must be. I wonder why they make it that way. I tried to do some research on like why is their beer this way.
Sure.
You know, because like when we did the Mexico episode, and I could find Germans, a lot of Germans there, a history of Germans moving to that place. So I'm guessing that's why they're lagers. But this style of beer, I don't know why it would be.
So like in the 1800s, Germany actually took over that area, the Tanzania area. It was a big railroad stop.
Okay.
And so they had their influence there. So you might be tasting some of that.
4.8% as opposed to
a little
4.5.
stronger.
A little bit stronger.
So which one do you like better?
I like this one better. This is the one I was scared of. I thought I'm not going to like this at all. I expected something completely different out of this.
I think I like the first one better.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with Brian on
I think
that
I
one.
could just crush that first one all day long.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
This one has more flavor.
Yeah,
It does-
I agree with you. It has more flavor.
Serengeti Premium Lager, Our Nation, Our Pride, Our Beer. Multiple gold winner of International Monde Select Awards. Serengeti Premium Lager is a combination of local heritage and craftsmanship. It's the first 100% malt beer brewed locally by a true Tanzanian brewmaster. Just like our national park, Serengeti Premium Lager is the pride of Tanzania to celebrate our country and the diversity of our people. Serve chilled to enjoy our true national beer heritage. There you go.
Cool.
So it's kind of a craft beer then,
That's what it sounds like.
maybe?
Yeah.
I guess if Kilimanjaro is the mainstream, then
Yeah, that one's 80% of the beer sold, the Kilimanjaro one.
wow. So Serengeti could be craft.
I mean, I guess,
so to speak.
I suppose.
Does it list the ingredients on that one, like the Kilimanjaro? No.
No, it does not. It does drink responsibly.
What's that 100% malt?
100% malt. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Ingredients: malt, water, hops. This is also a medium.
So not
beer.
100% malt.
No, well, no. Well,
no corn or wheat or anything.
yeah,
like,
no
other
corn,
grain.
no other grains, no malt.
What exactly is malt? You guys are beer experts here.
Basically,
What's
it's
it look
like, well, it can look a couple different ways. Sometimes you'll see it what they call flaked, so it's almost like you grind it up. It's basically like the shells off of wheat or something like that, right? So then you can get a coarse ground. You'll do that for like stout sometimes. You can roast malts. That's what gives you like darker colors in porters and stouts, where this is definitely not roasted. It also gives it some flavor. It's basically one of just the baseline main ingredients that starts with your flavor profile. Usually what gives you that bready flavor in this one. The other one, the Kilimanjaro one, I would guess hardly any malt. I mean, that's what the color is so clear, and that's why it smelled so sweet.
Right.
I think corn, the maize, is probably the main thing in that one that gives it its flavor and body.
Yeah. Well, and who knows if this, like, I mean, on American labels, it goes from most to last, right? I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you, and so this one, on Kilimanjaro, it says water, malt, maize, barley, hops. But who knows if that's actually the
Yeah.
case? I mean, if that's most
Water,
to last.
malt.
So what else they use malt for? Is that like for making bread, or what do they do with it? Or is it just for beer?
You've heard of malted milk? Like Whoppers, that candy, malted milk balls.
I love me some
They use them in.
Whoppers.
They use it in shakes and that sort of stuff. I know.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you really would use it for. Not really. I think mostly just beer stuff. You can buy it. It's expensive to get it already like kind of ground up, and like it's almost like a powder. But you can buy it from homebrew clubs, or you can buy it from. There's a homebrew store out by Seitner's house, way out there, Papillion, or not Papillion, but what's it called? I can't think of the name of it. It's right by the dogs.
Do any of our local craft beer places use malt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody. It's in every pretty much every beer.
Okay.
It's just not like this, where that's all that's in there. I've never seen it like that.
Right. Yeah, it's way more, hops. And is barley considered malt too? I mean, is that
It's just another grain.
Just another
variety,
grain.
yeah.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to ask like Scott or Bobby, like what would be the reason to do 100%?
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It is sweet, and like the more you get into it, the sweeter it gets. Almost. I could see why you'd like this. This seems like your style.
I've got Hefeweizen beer, so
Yeah.
it's with a little sweetness.
It's won some awards. It's all in Tanzanian, so I can't really read it there.
It's like sweet at the beginning, and then it's almost dry and bready towards the end for me.
yeah.
I don't know. I like it. It's growing on me.
So it's kind of grown on me too. Like the more I get into this, I'm sad that it's almost all gone. That it's all gone. I wanted some more. But so let's talk about before we get into the very last one, which didn't necessarily come from Tanzania, but I'm so happy that you brought it back. Kilimanjaro on Untapped. What do you think? How many rankings? What do you think?
Oh, man. I
It's
don't know.
surprising. It's surprising.
I mean, if it's the number one beer in the whole country, does it sold outside of Tanzania? Like, can you get it other places?
No idea.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean,
it
Untapped
could be
doesn't really help me.
thousands.
I've traveled a lot. I've never seen it before.
How many check-ins did it have?
4,747. So a
Dude,
decent
this is like
amount.
a shot in the dark. I have no idea. I'd say probably 3.7.
3.07.
Ooh.
So it's a solid 3. I mean, if you look at other premium light lagers, any kind of lager
I
like
guess
that,
if you rate it like that, yeah, then you're right. It's-
Mainstream.
It's actually higher than most of those.
yeah.
Than like if you check Bud Light or Miller Light or Coors, it's probably
So would you
ranked higher
pick this
than that.
over a Bud Light?
Absolutely. All day.
I would drink that. Yeah, that first one for sure.
Kilimanjaro,
Yeah.
yeah. I drink it over Coors. I would drink it over Coors Light. It was, not that I mind those beers. Those beers are fine.
It's just
I don't-
different.
Yeah.
This one's really growing on me now.
It grew on me quickly.
So Kilimanjaro, let's see. It doesn't say if it was sold outside. No.
Yeah, there's just nothing online. I looked yesterday and last night for a while, and I could not find anything.
No. So I was gonna look. Let's look up just to compare. Like, what's the most Budweiser? Do you think? I mean, would
Yeah, it's probably close to that.
Budweiser.
And you know how we were talking about Germany and stuff taking over for a while? Then I think the UK came in later too, and this is more of a UK style, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that sort of flavor profile. That's kind of what that reminds me of. So the first one, more German influence to me.
So Budweiser has 350,000 check-ins, obviously.
Yeah.
So way more check-ins, but 2.5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
So higher rated than that.
wait, yeah. a good half point higher.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah. So out of the beers in this style, Steve, that you've drank before, like how would you rate out of a scale of 5?
Kilimanjaro?
Yeah.
I'd say 3.5.
I think that's fair. I think that's,
If you were in a place that this is what they had, you'd be happy to have it, I would say.
Absolutely.
Long day, you sit down and you have 2 choices.
If I were there with you, I would have been very, very happy if this is what they would have opened up.
Yeah.
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 All right, Serengeti, what do you think? 3,257 check-ins.
So that's less than
Less
the first
than.
one?
Yep, less than.
I'm going to guess it's rated higher. But not, I don't know, maybe 3.2?
See, what do you think?
I say 3.5, but I like it a lot. So
Surprisingly, 2.99. So not
So right there.
not quite as high.
Not quite as high, but I think I would rank this one slightly higher. Is this like
Yeah.
maybe is like a 3.2? This is probably a 3.2, 3.5, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's cool. Just how different it is. It's totally different if that's the 2 choices.
Oh yeah, I mean you're looking at this is probably a bad example, but you're looking at a Budweiser versus a Guinness or something, right? I mean that's
Right, yeah.
different style, different flavor profiles.
Wouldn't it be weird to just be in a place that's your choices? You're either a Kilimanjaro guy or you're a Serengeti, and that's it,
Sure.
right? Or you're in the shack on the side of the mountain making your
Drinking the
own.
banana beer.
Yeah, you're drinking
Probably
the
doing that too, more
Right.
than this.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I guess the beers on the side of the mountain would kind of scare me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the water.
Yeah. Okay, so the last beer you brought back for us
Yes.
is
Where's that from? Holland?
That's what I could find. Netherlands.
is that where it's from?
Yeah, founded in the 50s.
This is, if it's not the national beer of Atlas, I don't know what is.
And that
Atlas.
that has to get on the wall
It's,
somewhere.
it's going on the wall. Imported strong beer, Atlas extra strong.
See where it says strong?
Yeah.
They ain't messing around. That's 8.5%, right?
Extra strong.
That's the lowest. They make 5 of these. This is the lowest ABV one they make.
Oh, there's better ones?
It goes 10, 12, 14, and 16%. Same style of beer, just stronger.
Got some weird stuff on the
Pull the mouse out.
Yeah. This one was actually I picked up at one of the hotels, had a little gift shop. It's the first time I saw anything outside of Kilimanjaro and Serengeti. Occasionally would see a Safari beer. That was about it.
Safari was like number 3 on that list from what I could see. And then there was one like I couldn't pronounce, and then there was another one I can't remember what it was.
This one, they say it takes 3 weeks to brew this beer.
8.5.
And then some of the other ones take a little bit longer. So up to 4 weeks, almost a month for some like the 16% one.
Really?
But from what I can understand, it's the same beer, just stronger. So it's not like you're getting a different style. It's just like a different, level of ABV.
Just the sugar eats the yeast longer.
Yeah, or they put more in to get stronger, or they less liquid to get it stronger. But
So when I make wine.
Right.
So it's all sugar level. So you basically, your brick level in wine gets you the amount of alcohol you want. So we always want about 12% on wine.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain amount of sugar level, bricks level.
so that would be mid-level of this beer, 12%. Yeah, because that's the third one they make.
Interesting.
A 16%, that's like stronger than an Imperial barrel-aged stout.
Right.
This is different.
It is totally different. I don't even know how to explain what this is.
That is weird.
That's the story of Atlas right there, my friends. I don't even know how to explain what this is.
Brian just did the little shake.
I've tried over, for real, almost 5,000 different beers. I've never had anything like this.
Nothing. This is
It's like almost like a cider somehow.
Kind of.
But it still has
This
that
is
breadiness.
Rich's wheelhouse. Then.
Yeah.
So earlier, Rich asked if barley was a malt.
Okay.
This one, the ingredients read water, barley malt. That's one thing.
Barley malt, yeah.
Barley malt. Like barley soup?
It's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah,
I
beef
enjoy-
and barley.
I'm getting hungry. It's close to lunchtime here.
Beef and barley soup is fantastic.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maize and
That's corn.
hop extract.
Oh,
yeah, that's
so hot
about what
pellets or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, or unless they're using the...
Was hops listed on any of those?
Oh, yeah, on both of them.
On the-
But it was
okay.
one of the last ingredients, though.
I mean, you wouldn't have a lot, but
This is...
this is different than the other two by a lot.
By a-
It doesn't taste like 8.5% to me.
No. But you know what? Here's the deal, though. On some of those ciders, you almost get kind of that wine ABV, because it's brewed that way.
It
because
seems dry to me.
It is. I could drink a lot of these.
There's a little bit left. You can have some more.
Boom.
Boom.
There we go.
And it's gone. And the can will stay in our studio now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What was the price on that one? 35
35.
Yeah, 35. So as opposed to 2,500 on Kilimanjaro.
So 47 cents per thousand. So you're looking at
Whoa.
dollar. So 0.47 times 3,500.
So if anything's a premium, it's the Atlas beer.
Probably because it was imported and not made locally.
47 cents per thousand, you say?
Yep.
So 3,500
Times
divided by 0.47 equals. So, no, that's
You times it by 0.47.
yeah, thanks, math.
I don't know if you guys know, Rich is really good at math.
He's the numbers guy.
If you guys
here,
have probably followed this stuff for a while.
Yeah.
No one's
We can barely get the 3.5s. Our ratings down.
$1.64.
$1.64 can.
Yeah, whereas these are like $1 and a
But I was at
quarter.
like a resort area, so probably cheaper elsewhere.
Yeah, extra strong. I mean, come on.
I'm paying for that.
You're not drinking because you like the taste. Well,
I do.
Yeah.
Brian does. Okay, I do too.
Okay, what is the taste? I mean, there's something to this.
I don't even know.
Brian's just shaking his head.
I'm gonna have to work on that.
There's almost a pear taste, maybe.
There's something like like
But
a
there's
white
no
fruit,
There's no fruit in
but there's
this
no
thing.
fruit in it. It tastes dry-ish to me, like a cider. It starts that way.
But it doesn't have a bad aftertaste.
No, and there's no beer bitterness. Like
No.
there's no IBUs. I was gonna look it up here. And
So
see.
these three beers have been pretty different than what you guys are used to.
Yeah.
Oh
100%.
yeah, for sure.
So I went to Austria and got to stay with my daughter's host family, and they had a basement full of craft beer. So I think at some point we'll need to go to Austria, and we'll have to try the craft beers over there.
I think you're right.
They have like a banana taste on the end of a lot of those.
You're a Hefeweizen guy, and I just don't. Have we done a Hefeweizen yet?
I think maybe one. Yeah.
I just don't like the banana.
So the more, just like these
clove.
grow on, the Serengeti
Clove.
just grew on you, right?
Yeah.
So as you get over there and you start drinking them, they grow on you.
Who produces? Okay, so if you type in Atlas, there's a whole lot of Atlas.
Well, I found it through Distiller's Pride is where I found it from, but that's an import company out of Canada. You can buy this online in Canada. They had a whole bunch of these. That was where I could find it, and that's where I saw all the other different ones. But I don't think you can.
So we're
buy
going to
it
need
here.
to order the different levels at some point, just so we have the cans.
I can't imagine what that 16% one would be like. Oh my gosh!
So do you guys have a site where you can buy beers from other countries?
It's not necessarily.
I've never seen one that's international. There's
No.
a website called Tavor that you can use. You can buy stuff around the United States and maybe a little bit of Canada, but nothing like like actual German or
So
Africa.
what do our travelers do around the country? Do they kind of go in and find a local brew that they like, and then if they're in love with some beer from another state, do they get it shipped to them, or?
So oddly enough, Sheila Bissell, who travels for Eric Scheid, who's traveled with us for a long, long time. Everywhere she goes, she wasn't a beer person before, and now because of us, maybe she likes to go. And she likes wine anyway, so she goes to wineries and stuff like that. But she will find different breweries and then try different stuff, and then send us pictures and whatever. But then bring us back stuff too. And so she last time from her trip to the West Coast brought us a ton of different beers.
Yeah.
But it's kind of expanded what she does while she's out on a contract is find these different breweries.
And it's a total social thing, you know.
So the main reason you guys do these podcasts and these stories is because you want people to explore. They don't want them just to go work 3 shifts.
Yep.
Exactly.
And sit in their room.
Yes.
Find something they love. If it's beer, if it's food, if it's whatever.
Right.
Get out. You're in a new area. You may never go back to Palm Springs. You may never go back to Boulder.
Yep.
Get out. Try things.
Try something
Try
different.
things. My big thing with beer for me, really, it is about 1,000% social. Like
Yes.
I just like to go and have conversations with
Talk
people.
to people you would normally not talk to.
Normally you wouldn't talk to, or you'll find out stuff. That's why I like to do the little research things I do here, because you just in a bar or wherever, you just get to talking about whatever, and your conversation goes all over the place.
Yep.
And I think that's fun too. And even then, like a lot of times, my brewery trips are way less than they used to be now. But like I'll take my father-in-law with me, and that's like uninterrupted adult time that I can talk about whatever, and that's what it is for me.
The bonding and
yeah. That's the reason I like to do it. But going to visiting different ones and seeing what they have and seeing the names and the images and the logos, and that's just, I love it. Oh, so much fun.
Like every brewery I've been to, and this is one of the things I think that our travelers struggle with a little bit, is that kind of that loneliness on the road. And this is a way for them to go someplace that is very social.
So back in the day, they used to have this thing called, they probably still have them some places, but they used to have supper clubs, right? And it was a social event. You'd go and have dinner, have some drinks, dance, maybe play some games. It was just like a hangout, like an adults hangout thing. And that's what these have become. But now a lot of them are more like family oriented too, right? So family games, food trucks, trivia nights, karaoke, beer, food, like all that stuff is all centrally there. So it's like the hub of the town, a lot of these places. And there's one in in Nebraska, and I think it's in Ord. There's a brewery, and like every Friday they have a potluck dinner. And you'll see farmers that you would never expect to be drinking imperial stouts, and they're drinking stouts and porters and whatever, and they bring in the crock pot and they plug it in. It's just the place you go on a Friday night. So that sort of stuff is what we're looking for.
We've talked about this before. Like, my son's favorite place to go when we go on trips is go to a brewery.
Yep.
Right. And he wants to play games.
What's the trivia one in Estes?
Rock cut. We haven't done a rock cut yet, and we will at some point.
My family went. We stay at Rich's place in Estes, and we'll go and do trivia night, and it's just fun.
Yeah,
they are so family friendly. They're so welcoming. Like, it's just, and that is common just throughout the United States.
Yeah.
So, Atlas. Okay, I found it here on Untapped. Atlas imported strong beer. It's actually called Atlas Strong 8.5.
Makes sense.
1,766 check-ins.
1,000. That's not very many.
Not very many.
Okay.
Sadly, it's not what you would think it would be rated.
I'm gonna get. So you're gonna say it's low.
So he just kind of we just went right to 2.5, right?
Yeah, tipped us off.
Yeah.
Is it lower than 2?
No.
Okay.
No.
2.4.
2.57.
Okay.
But it's weird. It's different. It's not.
So that's the whole point of drinking different beers, right?
Right.
Because you want something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to buy the same thing over and over again.
So out of the 3, what would you guys pick?
Oh boy. Honestly, I would drink Kilimanjaro all day long. That would be my choice. If I had these 3, if I were in Tanzania with you, and we had these 3 choices, I would grab the Kilimanjaro out of the cooler.
I'm Serengeti all day long.
Depends on my intent. At the end of the day, I'd probably drink this one.
You drink the Atlas one.
This one you go night
because it takes better. Yeah, and it takes a little longer to drink it. So you kind of, at least for me, I'm kind of sipping on it and enjoying it a little bit more.
Sure.
Or if it's middle of the day and it's super hot, or I'm doing whatever.
Yep. Then
probably either one of those would be fine because you're not really thinking about it too much. But this one's a little bit more complex, and I like trying to figure out what's in there. So
I guess this would be more maybe Brian's style, where it's a stronger. It has some complexity like a stout, right? There's different flavors that come through. As you drink it, have you noticed it changed a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Like as it's slightly warmed up, it's changed.
It's a little bit sweeter now.
And you're a Serengeti guy all day long.
So basically, you drink all 3.
Sure. Yeah.
You guys aren't very selective.
Well, we're not picky.
I was gonna ask if that was against the rules to just kind of go back and forth.
Dolan, what would you pick?
I would honestly, if I'm in Tanzania, probably Kilimanjaro. That one just feels like if it's in the winter and it's 75 all day, I'm just gonna hammer Kilimanjaros.
All right,
I could see that. What's that line from? It was Who's the actor? Who's that? Not Nicolas Cage.
Keanu Reeves.
No, not Keanu Reeves.
Nicolas Cage. You said that one.
Are you talking about
Keanu Reeves?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. There we go. See, Dolan knows.
I don't know how you got that.
It's not whoa. It's wow.
Wow. Oh, that's what it was.
He twisted his nose a little bit. Did you see that?
He made.
Does he have a broken nose? Is that why his nose looks like that way?
Probably.
Yeah.
There was that one line from, I can't remember what movie.
This is gonna be good.
Oh yeah. Where they're talking, there's 2 girls walking up, and there's him and somebody else, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take the brunette," and he's like, "Okay, that's good because I'll take anything." That's kind of our philosophy.
That's where we're at right now with
style.
these 3 beers.
Yeah.
We'll take anything.
Yeah. That was fun, man.
So there you go.
I love getting beers that you can't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, It's
So when
kind
I
of
travel, you guys want me to bring beers?
I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
If you got room in the socks and
right.
in
How about
the suitcase,
if anyone's traveling,
well, that works too.
bring us
Dolan.
some beers.
So here's where I was the sweating moment. Like you're in the airport and you're going through customs, and they say, "Do you have any fluids in your bag?" So how do you answer that? I of course say no, and then I get on the airplane. Then your whole thought is, okay, are they actually going to check your bag?
Yeah.
So what is the right answer when you're traveling overseas and you're shipping beer? What do you guys do?
That's a good question.
I've never done it, so I don't know.
haven't done it.
I barely handle it across state lines, and that's
Right.
because it's yeast samples.
Does-
There's salsa.
Does
Those are things you
I
can
was gonna
say
say-
when you ship beer.
does barbecue count as a liquid?
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
You can definitely do barbecue sauce. That's been done.
That's a tip to any traveling healthcare professional.
I'd
that
like to know
wants
the
s-
advice because a lot of our travelers have gone overseas and brought beer or wine back with them.
Yep.
How do they answer that question? Is it an integrity thing? And what if you say yes? Did
it's
they take
probably-
your stuff out and they throw it out
I think it's probably best to
to tell the truth, or
probably
lie?
to be like claim it or whatever.
Sure.
But then if you're gonna do that, you might as well get a lot of it. You know what I mean?
True. Yep.
So I think you're fine with this.
One of-
I feel like this is something Seidner would do.
Yeah. You wrap it in your socks and you'll be fine. It's not going to explode generally.
No,
you'll be fine.
I was on 24 to 25 hours of flying, and these things made it. So
Oh man.
And they're delicious. I'm so
That's
happy
a
you
long-
brought these
that's a
back.
long
That's a
flight.
long flight.
yeah,
That was so. We've told multiple traveling healthcare professionals this. Like, if you're going to send us beer and they ask you what it is, barbecue sauce is a perfectly acceptable answer.
Yep. Barbecue sauce.
Jam
usually
or
works.
jelly is an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you begged and pleaded for more beer to be sent to you guys? How do you guys get the beer into the office here from our travelers?
If they don't bring it to us physically, when they meet us out, our friend Thomas Piper has brought us beers before. We brought him beers before, so Dolan has been our beer mule and taken him multiple
And you
bottles.
give credit as they send you beer. So
Absolutely.
This is a great opportunity for them to get on this show.
Oh, yes.
If they just send us beer.
Yes.
Probably over half of our beers have been sent
Sent,
to us
yep.
or
Yeah.
brought from either recruiters that went and saw their people out there in the place, or
Yep.
the recruiters gave it to them to give to us.
So this is our time to plead for more beer because you're currently out of beer.
I don't want to discourage anyone from sending us beer.
We'll make room.
But I am booked through the end of November now for every week for a beer with Atlas. So, but I will make time.
Yeah.
We will make time.
we'll-
I would like to join you again. This is my first and only beer entry.
I
But
think
I feel like you guys have something really cool here.
it's we're over 50 episodes in. You can catch up. a little
yeah,
bit. That's
it's pretty fun.
We have a good time.
Favorite beer out of all 50 episodes?
Oh, good lord!
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh man.
You've tried a lot of
beer.
beers, and if I could only pick one beer out of all these episodes,
That's tough because is it for you? Is it a beer
just
you
for
would
me,
want
no, you would pick yourself.
for that I would drink again?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go off the top of my head.
Okay.
I would probably say that tequila barrel sour that we had.
Oh, from Loveland Ale Works.
That one would
That
probably
one
be
was
the one
amazing.
I would pick. That or that. Remember that cherry limeade one we had? Like
yeah,
with
from
teens?
Wisconsin.
Sheila brought us that
Sheila
one.
brought us
that
no, Julie Jones brought us
Oh,
that
it
Julie
one.
was.
Jones,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was Julie. Yeah, one
You
of those
know-
two would be the ones I'd pick.
That was pretty fantastic.
Dolan?
I think it's between the green zebra from Founders
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
and the milk and honey one from Texas.
Oh, from 903.
903.
So this is so funny you say this. I'm hiking in Colorado, family vacation. Another couple coming towards us. Dude is wearing a 903 brewery shirt.
Really?
cool.
And I'm like, hey, those guys have great beer. And he's like, how do you know about this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, maybe I do a little podcast on the side. I don't
Yeah,
know.
craft beer stuff is fun. Everybody loves to show it off, man. At least I do. I always learn something.
Turns out, so then they turned around and walked with us for a little bit. Turns out they know the brewers. They go there every week. Like, that's a thing.
So
for
do you guys
them.
have a top 10 list that people need to try?
Ooh, we should
For
make
guys
one.
like me that don't know anything,
Oh, boy.
I would love to have something on a site so as people are traveling around the country, they a must try beer.
You know what I would like to do someday? I don't know
Okay.
if this is feasible or not, but find our like top 10 locations, right? Like where most of our nurses are going.
Yep.
And then have some sort of ranking list or menus, just some centralized place to go where you could see, okay, what's happening on Wednesday night at my local brewery? Is it worth going down there? What's the food truck situation?
Because you guys are going to be 1,500 of these things, right? How do you organize it in such a way? I'm traveling to San Diego, 400 breweries there.
Yeah,
Which
that'd
ones
be
do I
tough.
have to go to?
So our friend Thomas Piper, who runs Scrub Squad 1978, who kind of came up, I'll give him credit. He came up with the idea for this way back in the beginning. And that's kind of why we started it in the first, where I thought, okay, we're going to do this. Because he said, after a night of us drinking together for, many, many beers, he's like, you should do a podcast about it. We should do a podcast about this.
Yeah.
So on his website, if you go to scrubsquad1978.com, he has every state broken down, and then within those states, the breweries that you should go to. So Nebraska, for example, he has Cross-Train and Nebraska Brewing Company and Infusion and Brickway and Kincaidor. Like, he has a whole list of when you should go with the times that they're open.
I'm only going to have Tanzania, and I'm going to have Kilimanjaro and Serengeti.
No, there you go.
Must-haves.
We
Maybe we should start a Beer with Atlas Facebook group or page and start posting things like this. I don't know.
Thomas might be mad at us if we do that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or we could just link back
Tie
to
it all
his-
together.
Oh, we'll link it back.
We
to
could backlink to his site.
Is it every place or just ones he's been to or knows about?
It's that's a question for him. I
Yeah,
think he
okay.
went by what's that one? There's a website that kind of lists like the top five in each state or whatever.
TripAdvisor sort of situation.
Right.
I'll just go out here and say I'm willing to put in the groundwork and go and try all these places if we need it. Just saying. If
I thought you were gonna offer to start the
So
website.
we-
I mean, I'll do that too, but
How
I'll
about just
I won't
another
be,
tab on our website that says must-have food locations, must-have beers. And each state, we just have a little list of all the states.
Yeah.
And it's just a quick little...
That would be
beers,
awesome
wines.
for food stuff and foodies
Yeah.
because that's a big thing, right?
Aaron Daly.
You could do the pizza part, maybe,
man,
Brian.
pizza.
That's,
You guys like pizza, too?
I
Not
love
only beer,
pizza.
you like pizza, too?
They go together so great.
so good together.
Yeah, pizza that's my other passion.
I didn't answer the favorite beer out of all of them.
All right.
I don't want to be a homer, but episode 1. I mean, there's a reason why they were episode 1, right?
Yeah.
Who
I
was
mean,
episode 1?
Cross-Train, Fairy Nectar.
Have you had that? Where's that little asterisk? Like,
We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. That's just, if you want to come to Nebraska and you want to try the best beer coming out of Nebraska, it's Cross-Train Fairy
That's
Nectar.
approachable for everybody. I would say,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Yep. Whether or not you like IPAs or whatever, just give it a shot. And that was my favorite. So there you go.
very cool.
So Steve, first of all, thank you for bringing these beers back to us.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
was and lying to Customs about it. That was awesome.
I
Took a little heat for us.
No
Nice.
problem. I will bring more beers back on future travel trips.
You're going places. I mean, that's
Yeah,
your kids are past the two of your kids are past the
Austria, Germany.
right. You could have brought back beers from there, but you didn't.
Well, we'll give him a pass on that.
But I do know people there, so maybe we could have them ship us some.
Oh, there we go.
If you guys want to try some Hefeweizens?
I would.
we can do a care package.
I
back
have
and
a
forth.
kid currently staying with me from Austria for the next couple of weeks, and his family they have a basement full of beers from Austria. He's a big collector like you guys are. So
Well, like I said, that's good because we'll drink anything.
all right.
So we end each episode, Steve, the same way. We're not going anywhere for a while, Brian.
Let's have another beer.
All right.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.